Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna talk a little bit about the greenhouse we built. Started at the end of last year and kind of progressed through the year. You can see this little picture here is kind of what my wife was doing inside the house because we didn't have a greenhouse, so she was definitely wanting me to get something going. Here's a picture of kind of where it is now. Not 100% finished, but definitely making some progress. Got a few more things to do. We'll just kind of walk through the whole process here. Kind of started off figuring out where in the yard we wanted to put it and kind of laid it out. I was more thinking we were doing like a 8x8 greenhouse, and she's wanted something quite a bit bigger, so we ended up going the inside part's 8x12, and then it's got a 4-foot kind of little porch there, so it ended up being total size was 16 foot by 8 foot. Just kind of laid out the blocks, kind of got an idea of what we're doing. Did a basic frame set up there just to see where we were. We had to obviously come back and get the bricks under there a little better. We were just kind of still setting it out here, and I realized on my first go here, I ended up putting the floor joists there about 4 feet apart. Kind of stretching it a little bit, so I came back and doubled the number of joists, taking it to just right at 2 foot apart. I could have probably done 16. I may have been able to get away with a little bit further than 2 foot, but 2 foot seemed to work very well. I ended up putting 2x6s on it. I had a bunch of leftover 2x6 scrap and thought, how it is. I thought it was a lot more than what it actually was. I laid it out and realized, well, I'm not getting very far with what I've got here. So I decided just to do the little porch area with the extra wood that I had left. It had definitely some age to it, but it gives it a nice look. And ended up purchasing all new 2x6s, 12-foot 2x6s for the other little part there. And of course, that was a pretty substantial uptick. There's just some of the boards we ended up purchasing. And bought this, when wood was really, really expensive. I think it's a little better now, but it's definitely pretty pricey there. And here we are after we've nailed down the all the floorboards there. Starting to frame out the first wall. Now, everything we're doing here, we're trying to use old recycled windows and recycled doors everywhere we could. You can see here, I bought these, we got 4 of these doors. I say doors, they were probably just more of I don't think any of them moved, so I'm not really even sure what you would call them there, but the very bottom piece on each one of them was rotted out, so I had to replace that piece of wood, but besides that, they were just in great shape. So here I am just kind of going through, getting my first wall framed up there and squared up completely, getting it ready to go. Got all 4 of the doors laid in. I decided to go ahead and secure the doors into the wall before we even lifted the wall up. May or may not have been a great choice, but it worked out. You'll see in a minute we ended up using the tractor to lift the wall up. It was very heavy once we got all 4 of those doors. I don't know how much the doors weighed, but they were pretty they're pretty hefty, just to be totally honest with you. I was kind of surprised at the weight of all 4 of those doors in there, but it definitely made for a solid wall. Getting everything completely squared up. It should have been a little easier to square up using those doors inside, but again, the doors weren't 100% perfect. There was a few things about them that were a little warped here and there. Luckily, I did not put a nail. I was hoping I didn't shoot that nail with my hand sticking out there on the side, because I have had nails go sideways on me when I was putting them into the wood. But I've got another little video where we started using the nailer, and sure enough, the nailer broke, so we had to take a break for a little bit while I ordered the part and got the nailer fixed. That was a pretty simple fix, though. Pretty cheap, luckily. That's been a great nailer. God, I've had that thing so long, done so many fences with it. And here we are, just getting the last touch of that wall ready to go. And here we are after we've raised the wall, and you can see kind of behind there I've got the tractor with a strap, with a tow strap. We put some bracing at the base of the floor there, and then just pulled the wall up with the tractor. It worked perfect, no issues at all. And then we could kind of brace it but also leave the tractor there to hold it. And here's the other walls directly across from that one. We decided not to put the windows in this wall. We went ahead and lifted it first. Then we're going to come back and put the windows in it, but it was definitely a little easier to lift it that way. We just kind of spaced the boards there to give us plenty of room to drop the windows in. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect the walls together, kind of creating my back wall, creating the front wall, and kind of a little progress video there, or picture there. We're starting to lay out the windows into that back wall. We had a lot of stuff we had to bring out every day, a lot of tools as we were working, the compressor, everything else. So we ended up just kind of staging everything in back of the side-by-side. That way we could just drive it out there every day and have everything. Obviously we didn't have the miter saw out there, or the table saw, but everything else was out there and kind of ready to go. Made it a little easier to get ready and made it easier to put everything up for the day. And here we are on that back wall, kind of laying out the windows. You can see there we put some spacers in between here and there just to make sure we spaced out the light. But to be honest, this wall faces directly north. We could have gotten away with just making that wall solid. There's really no sun coming in through that wall. All the sun's going to come in through that southern wall, which is the one with the 4 big doors on it. And there's kind of some of the windows we had collected. I bet we paid less than $100 for all of the windows and doors that we have. We just found them, a couple here or there that would be selling a bunch of old windows for like 40 or 50 bucks, and we just go pick up everything they had. We went to pick up the sliding glass door that we used at the very front. I think we paid 40, maybe 30 bucks for that, and we told them what we were doing, and they were like, "Oh goodness, we bought this to build a greenhouse. We just decided not to do it. We've got a whole stack of windows we were going to use if you want them." So they gave us a whole bunch of windows in addition to buying the door from them. We ended up with quite a few left. Some got broke here and there, but we still got a few left after we filled up all the walls. And here we are finishing up that back wall, and there it is, 100% finished. You can see it's getting colder there. Now, we definitely had decided, I guess this would actually be the back wall. It's total opposite of the door that goes in. We'll call it the west wall, I guess. Getting those windows kind of squared away there. And that window actually, it does open, that we put in, so it can actually open and give us a little bit of airflow. We open the front sliding glass door and then open that window, and we get a lot of airflow coming through. Now we had a bunch of space left that we didn't really have small enough windows for, so kind of what we were deciding to do was we ended up using fence boards just to create a kind of a solid structure there. I kind of like the idea of taking those fence boards and staining them dark wood. My wife decided she wanted to paint them white, but today they're still not painted. We need to get out there and get that finished. And obviously doing it this way, we're going to have some gaps in there we're going to need to fill. We've got some spray foam. We'll try to get those filled from the inside just to give it a little more, air tightness. It'll never be airtight. But here's the front door as you're going into the greenhouse, that sliding door there. It doesn't fit 100%. There's a little bit of a gap at the top when it's closed at the bottom, but there's a little gap at the at the top. We couldn't get it completely squared no matter what we did, but again, it was like $30 for that thing, and it really provides a lot of sun shoots in through that window in the morning. And once we got that kind of completed, we were to the point of saying, well, now we need to go ahead and build the porch. So I had a couple of existing 4x4 posts that came off of an old swing set we had used years ago when the kids were little. So I just cut some holes in the base of that and used some pretty long lag bolts and secured the post into the frame itself. Kind of extended the roof over a little bit just to tie it all together. Kind of starting to see here before we got the roof done at all. Just kind of walk you through here. And that's where we are. Now we're ready for the rafters to go up. And just kind of a progress video there with some of the stuff we were working with. So I built my first rafter as a test. I just used the little metal joint pieces there. Put it together like that and went to pick it up and the whole thing fell apart. So that definitely was not going to fly. Here's some more that I'm just kind of testing the spacing with and making sure they're the length I want and the height I want and everything else. And here's what I ended up doing. I'm jumping ahead in this picture, but this shows kind of what we did is we just cut out pieces of wood and nailed it into that. So I've got quite a few nails on each rafter, and these were completely solid. Once we got them nailed up, I made a little frame and built all of them, and here I am using the tractor to lift them up there. And I got it a little closer than this, obviously, and then I just got a ladder up there and was able to pull them over onto the top of the roof. I think I lifted 3 or 4 at a time and got them up there pretty quickly. It's great having that tractor because I was already dreading having to climb up there and put them up myself. And then I, built a little piece on the end to kind of hold the first rafter together, hold it in place. And then it was just a matter of dropping them all up. You can see there I've got a line, a piece of string. I put up the 2 end rafters first, and then I came back and was able just to run that string so I could get every single midpoint exactly in the right spot as I put them up. Of course, there you can see another. I've already started digging the conduit out there. I'm going to run a single outlet out there as I get power into my garage. And there's, of course, our axe throwing target that we built last year just to have a little break. I started putting on just the clear plastic. This was much more of a pain in the butt than I thought it would be. I would pretty much go outside and get started with the bottom, latching on the bottom piece from the outside. Then I would have to go inside and do the rest. So I did one side all the way down, came back and started the other side, but I had to do the ridge cap as I did that piece on the other side. I could stick my head up through there and do the ridge cap. I didn't really want to have to climb up on top of that plastic. I'm just not sure how stable it would be. It's done very well in the wind. Here it is kind of finished with all the I think it's all on the other side, but you can see the ridge cap up there. Everything's completely done for the roof. Now we've still got a lot of open areas there we need to finish up. The ends are still not closed in. We still got, you can see there on that one wall where the doors are, the bay windows, whatever you want to call them. There's definitely some, some space there we need to cover up. So we'll try to get that done within the next few weeks and get you guys an update on it. Here it is kind of looking up into it. It's, man, you just get, the sun just comes through there so much, and we got plenty of room there to hang pots from. We need to go ahead and get it finished. It's starting to get cold here in Texas. We need to get that wrapped up. Just another picture of kind of where we are right now. And again, I did go in, I built the little braces between the rafters to kind of hold them down, but I also went in with some hurricane straps and just tried to tie each one down. And we've had some pretty substantial winds. We actually had a tornado come through this area. It went just a mile from the house or so last weekend, and thank God we didn't have any injuries here. I think a house or two was destroyed. I felt bad for those people, but I don't think we had anyone seriously injured, so definitely thankful for that. But the greenhouse was, one of the many things that survived great on our side. And that's it. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll try to do an update on this a little later. Hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching.